Most YouTubers would love the chance to have MrBeast on their channel, but this is me succeeding and getting as far away from him as possible. I'm going to tell you about how this all went down and why this is related to economics. So this whole video starts with this tweet, but really to understand this tweet, we need a little bit more context and a little bit more economics. Let me start by giving you like a little bit of an understanding of how economists look at something like this MrBeast phenomenon. And I'm going to use, a little bit of economics. I'm going to draw a graph. So if you've had some intro economics, you'll have enough understanding to totally get this video. And if you hadn't had economics yet, like a real class, that's fine. Like, you're still going to get this and it's still going to be interesting. But I just want to throw that warning out there. So MrBeast is the biggest YouTuber in the world. He's weeks away as this filming from becoming the biggest YouTube channel in the world, right? And a lot of people watch his videos. When he comes out with a video, he's getting something like 50 million views in the first 24 hours. And then over a year of them being on the platform, they're hitting something like 300 million views on just a couple of these. So how do economists look at this with our typical like price, quantity, supply, and demand type things? I'm not going to focus on supply right now. It kind of comes into what we're going to talk about. But let's just first talk about like, what is the price of watching a MrBeast video? Well, when you're on YouTube, you're not paying an explicit price when you watch any videos, right? Hopefully you clicked on this video, got to watch for free. No one's out there charging you for coming onto this channel. But when you click on a video, that's time. You have to take minutes out of your day to watch my videos. You're looking at like 25 to 30 minutes for a MrBeast video nowadays. There's an opportunity cost of time, and that time could be spent watching another MrBeast video or watching another video on YouTube, or you could be taking that time to go watch cats or something, right? Like I did a whole video on opportunity cost of time and all those kind of things, looking at Star Wars and cats. It's a criminally underrated video. So the price, it's not going to be a money price, but we're going to have some sort of opportunity cost of time. And since we're not focusing on supply, we're just going to say like there is this, elastic price of YouTube videos where you can always just like find these, but this is MrBeast videos that we're going to focus on, right? So what is the demand for MrBeast videos? It's really high, right? Just really high. It's hard to get an appreciation for this with the scale of this graph, but we'll just draw a line here that's going to indicate the demand for MrBeast videos. And of course, this intersection right here is the point at which like the quantity, how many people end up watching MrBeast videos. And this is, somewhere in like the hundreds of millions of views, right? Tons of people watching these, and tons is an understatement, right? So why do I want to draw this? Well, because when you have a demand curve, it's telling you the willingness to pay, how much people are willing to watch a MrBeast video. And the price, the length of a MrBeast video is determined by the marginal viewer, right? Right here, if he wants to get that many views, he's going to have that length of video or have that interesting of a video, right? There's all these things that come in. Again, I'm not dealing with quantity. I'm not dealing with supply. So I'm abstracting away from a lot of things. But to get out to 100 million views, like there are people out there who aren't going to watch that video unless it's super high quality, super interesting. In fact, I've got this nice linear demand curve. It's probably something that looks like this. I don't know. I've drawn a second demand curve. I'm going to do D question mark to kind of indicate, there's down at the end, like there's a lot of people who have a lot of opportunity costs to watching these videos, and that's fine. The big point is there is this whole section. Let me change my color right here. There is this whole section right here of people who have a high willingness to pay. We'll do WTP to watch MrBeast videos. They are willing to pay, and in pay here, like we can just stick to YouTube. Like they're willing to watch a lot of MrBeast videos. These are the people who are going back and rewatching the videos, or they're going and they're watching a ton on the channel, or the people that we're really interested in, just these people who want to watch MrBeast content, and they're willing to invest way more time over here than the marginal viewer over here. And that's really important to understand. It explains a lot of other things out there. For instance, for a while, MrBeast had... That's important to understand because that means that you're creating a lot of value for these people, right? I'll do it with the second graph that we made right here. But like, this is what economists call consumer surplus. This is all the value that people are getting that exceeds their the price that they have to pay. Right? They're getting all this MrBeast content. They'd be willing to pay really high prices to watch MrBeast, and yet they're getting it at this, 25-minute video. And so MrBeast is creating a ton of value for these people. And the key is he's not capturing any of that value. He's not capturing all of that willingness to pay from those people who are, sometimes the term for them is super fans. And that's really important to understanding, like, some of the things that he's done in the past, such as creating more channels. So right now, he really only has 2 active channels. He's got MrBeast, and he has MrBeast Philanthropy, and he recently rebranded Feastable, so he's doing a few of his MrBeast 2 channel, right? But he was actively posting on MrBeast Gaming and MrBeast Reacts. And that was really important because the kind of people who watch those videos are the people over in this region. They're not these marginal viewers out here who are only going to watch if it's like a high quality, highly produced, insane video. He started making MrBeast Reacts videos, which are just people, just him and his buddies just watching like TikToks and laughing together, right? Like, it was genius because this was super low cost relative to what he's having to do for these other ones. They're still getting millions of views, still getting the ad revenue and a lot of times sponsorships. And so he's making a lot of money on those at a really low cost, as opposed to when he doesn't make like any money at all on, like, he's not making a profit on his main channel videos most of the time. And so he recognizes there are these people who are high consumer surplus people, these super fans that are willing to go out there and watch basically anything he puts out there. And other channels realize that those viewers are out there. They want this market, right? So you're a new YouTuber, a small YouTuber. You're trying to find people to watch your videos. And you know that there are these high consumer surplus people over here who are willing to watch MrBeast content no matter what it is, effectively. And sometimes it's high quality content, right? Like Colin and Samir have done 3 interviews with MrBeast, and I think they're all at least an hour. So that's 3 to 4 hours of interviews with MrBeast, and I've watched all of them. Some of them I think I've watched multiple times. Like I'll confess, I'm kind of over here. I'm not all the way over in this area, but yeah, I'm probably over here where I'm willing to watch more MrBeast content than what MrBeast can produce himself. MrBeast has a bottleneck, right? Like, there's only one MrBeast. He can only be in so many videos. That's why he's changed the content of his videos lately. So that way, instead of torturing himself and his friends, he's torturing, his subscribers, and he can film some of these at the same time. So that way, he's not having to be in every video, right? Like, he's got a whole, he's got a shortage on how much he can supply. It's kind of inelastic. And so, you can only get so much MrBeast content. And so what these other channels realize is if they can create MrBeast content, they can also get this market over here, and they can get subscribers really fast or views really fast. And that's why we saw what's called the beastification of YouTube and all what people call these MrBeast clones, all these people going out there doing the same thing that MrBeast was doing. 1, because he was successful, and 2, because they were hoping to capture some of that audience and bring them over to their channel. And even though a lot of times they're only catching a sliver of that audience, a sliver of a MrBeast audience who has over 200 million subscribers, like, that is a significant audience. I've experienced this personally. I made, when Feasibles first came out, I did just a tiny video, like a YouTube short on just some of the economics of winning the prizes and everything. That video has almost 7 million views now. It was insane. It was there was a period where in the 48 hours I had 2 million views. I have never done anything like that on this channel again, or before that, and that was because of MrBeast, right? You have these high willingness to pay people who just like want to watch MrBeast content, and I benefited from that. I got a lot of money from it. There's some costs to that. Maybe we'll go into that, but I just want to point out that MrBeast did this exact same thing. We don't think about it as much anymore, but like one of his early videos, at least one of his early videos, he started getting momentum. He did a like Dude Perfect copy video, right? Like he loves Dude Perfect. He did a couple of these now. He had one that was a direct like, we're better than Dude Perfect or something. And then he directly copied the Dude Perfect Battle Royale airsoft gun balloon type things. Like openly admitting it. Like he said when he did the call for that video, like we're going to do the Dude Perfect video. And so he saw like, here are concepts that people are doing, and I'm going to supply those kind of concepts as well. But not just that, in between those two videos, he did his whole sub to PewDiePie campaign. Because at the time, PewDiePie was the largest YouTube channel, or was at least in that Battle with T series, right? But he was the largest YouTuber, and MrBeast was trying to capture some of that PewDiePie audience. He had never even met PewDiePie. And obviously he'd been influenced by him and all those kind of things, but he had never physically met him and was going out there and promoting the PewDiePie channel, creating PewDiePie content, because he understood that PewDiePie had this high willingness to pay audience, and he was trying to capture some of that audience. And now, of course, he's just blown past Pewds and done all these things, right? So he doesn't have to worry about creating that kind of content anymore. But MrBeast did the same thing that we're seeing all these YouTubers. And that's why I talked about starting off this video saying most people would love to have MrBeast on their channel. MrBeast drives views to your channel. It drives demand. So why was I trying to get as far away from MrBeast as possible? Well, that comes back to this tweet. I don't even remember who this tweet guy is, but like it's all connected to what I was just explaining right here. So there was a little period where there were a ton of YouTubers who were just showing up at MrBeast's doorstep and like effectively forcing him to be in a video. I think there was a little bit more planning going on. Like he at least had a heads up, but like, they'd create some little thing. They'd show up at his doorstep and he'd kind of like reluctantly accept it and just go on with his day, right? He gets to be in like a little 30-second segment at the end, and then they get to put him on the thumbnail, and there you go. You have a whole MrBeast video and you get to target that audience. And enough people have been doing this that like this guy tweets out that he's going to do basically the same thing. And the thing he was going to do, like sometimes people would show up with a car painted for MrBeast or something, or like a giant something or other. I don't know. Like, but this guy was going to do a cardboard cutout, and not even a MrBeast, but a Ryan Trahan, right? And a cardboard cutout is just like really low effort, really uninteresting. There's like the whole point of his video was you can show up on MrBeast's doorstep, you can get him in a video, and you're going to drive views to your channel. Like that's what he was trying to prove. So he tweeted out that he was on his way. I think he was already in North Carolina. It was like at Jimmy's doorstep, and Jimmy responded to the tweet and said, "Go away. Like, I don't want your cardboard cutout. Like, get out of here." The reason why I wanted to give context is because like without all this context, it feels like kind of a jerky tweet. Maybe it feels like the tone is off, but like I totally get it. People are just free riding off of the MrBeast channel, the demand for MrBeast, and they're not willing to put in the effort to create videos that are going to actually create value for him or create value for his subscribers. So he kind of just gets fed up with it. And so I looked at that and thought like, wow, man, everybody is trying to get as close as they can to MrBeast. What if I made a video where I tried to get as far away from him as possible? And that way I'm not bothering him. I'm not trying to do any of these things that are getting him frustrated. And also like, maybe I am creating something a little bit interesting that way. He's not watching this video right now because maybe this is too long and too rambly for him to watch this kind of video. That's fine. Like most of his audience isn't going to do this. I'm not making this for his audience. I'm making this for people who are interested in economics, and hopefully that's you. And if that's you, you should be subscribing. You should jump on my Substack, all those kind of things. But I just thought it would be funny to try and get as far away as possible. And so I looked up where the farthest point from MrBeast was. There's a website that I checked that lets you calculate the farthest point away from you. And I plugged in his hometown, and it came up with like somewhere in Western Australia, which is feasible. Could probably do something like that. But also, like, it's super expensive to get to Western Australia. And, you know, I'm an economist, and I am a small channel. I'm not interested in, like, doing the kind of strategy where I take out a ton of debt and make a huge bet on this video that who knows how it's going to perform, right? Like, if you're checking the views right now, this is probably at, like, 1,000 views. 1,000 views is not going to pay off a multiple $1,000 airplane ticket, hotel stay, you know, days of travel, all that kind of stuff, right? That seemed infeasible. But I had another opportunity. This wasn't available immediately, right? This was just kind of like in the back burner. Like I thought, I'll do this video eventually. But then this opportunity comes up where my university needed me to travel. We have a program where we teach students abroad. Like we have students in other countries, and we have to send professors there to teach about, you know, teach our economics concepts and evaluate teachers, all those kind of things. And they needed teachers, and this was a pretty far away location. And I thought like, oh, this could be an opportunity. Like it was going to be a good opportunity to go on this. I wanted to do it for my department, but also maybe this is my chance to finally do that video. And so I went to Beijing, China. I had to teach some lessons in economics. And since I was doing this video, I thought like, here, I will teach these students in China about MrBeast. And so I did a lecture where I had MrBeast and I talked about some of the economics. It's actually that short that I mentioned earlier that got almost 7 million views. I basically gave the lesson from that. It was topical. I wasn't forcing them on. It just happened to be that was what they were covering that day. So I said, great, here's MrBeast. And, you know, this week I was talking to my class about MrBeast and the economics behind him. And, you know, most of them knew who he was and could like comment on some of the things. When I asked this classroom full of Chinese students, not a single person said they knew who MrBeast was. And, you know, maybe some of them just weren't willing to admit it, but like it was very clear they had no idea who I was talking about. And so to get the like most striking, stunning example of like getting as far away from MrBeast as possible, because that in and of itself isn't that interesting, I made sure to grab a Feastable bar and I brought it out to the Great Wall of China. So here I am successfully promoting Feastables, I guess, as far away from MrBeast as possible, because of these economic reasons, right? Like, again, maybe some of you are MrBeast fans, and that's why you clicked on this video, and so I'm getting some of that audience, and that's excellent, right? I don't know. I guess this gets to the costs of pursuing this strategy. That's a great opportunity. That's the lesson maybe I should end on. Here's the problem. When I do an economics video, and I've done, like I said, I've done a couple of MrBeast videos, and one of them did really well, but the problem is when you bring on people, and you say, like, here's MrBeast, and then you swap it out and say, it's economics, there are not a lot of people who are at that intersection of MrBeast and economics. You know, with 200 million subscribers, certainly there's someone at that intersection. I mean, maybe that's you, and that's why you clicked on this video, and you're going to comment below and say, actually, I love MrBeast and economics. And if so, I welcome you to this channel. Thank you for being here. I'm glad this video is what got you to come see this stuff. But it can be tough when you say, here's MrBeast, and surprise, it's actually economics. But what you did was get like a ton of people to click on your videos. And then the next video that comes up is economics. And all those people who watched it are not interested in watching economics videos. And so then YouTube, with the algorithm and the recommendations that come through, see all these people, click on your video, they serve them another video, and they are not interested in it at all. And now all of a sudden YouTube's like, oh, people don't like that channel. Or you get all these subscribers who think like, yeah, I'll subscribe on that video, and then they never watch another video. Like, it just tells YouTube that you're just not a channel that they should be recommending. And so that can be a big cost of pursuing this strategy. It's yes, you get the high willingness to pay for people watching MrBeast content. That's what they want, is the MrBeast content. They don't want the value that you're bringing through other videos. Like, you need to create videos for the audience that's interested in what you're making. And yeah, hopefully that's you. That my goal is to make videos that are interesting to people who are exposed to economics or like interested in economics. And if that's you, like, I'm going to keep making economics videos. If you are clicking on this because you're like, I'm a MrBeast guy and I need like all these like crazy spectacle videos, that's not what you're getting on this channel. And I sometimes I wish I could do all that, but also I look at the life Jimmy leads and I realize like that's probably not the life that I want. And so while people can see huge benefits from these strategies, I made a couple of $1,000s off of that YouTube short. It was a huge benefit. That was the most profitable video I've ever made because I only had to buy a box of chocolate and it took me like 30 minutes to make the video, and I ended up making $2,000 to $3,000. Yeah, that was great. Cost benefit ratio, excellent. But if you're not willing to make that kind of content all the time, you're going to lose those viewers. And that's why you see these MrBeast clones out there, right? Like, they try to grab the MrBeast audience, and then to retain that audience, they have to keep making the MrBeast style videos, but they don't know how to actually make them. They're doing some kind of like copycat thing, or what we call mimetic behavior, where they are like trying to make MrBeast videos, but like not quite understanding why people like MrBeast videos. And so then like you might see these spikes initially, they do well, and then eventually they all just die out because people get exhausted by that content. And you'd think they'd get exhausted by MrBeast content, but no, he like has innovation. He's bringing new things to YouTube and doing it in a way that captures hundreds of millions of people's attention. And so like he's an increase in TFP. We could talk about that a whole nother time. But yeah, here's my attempt to like do this little fun thing to get as far away from him as possible with a Feastables bar. And you should check out this video on opportunity cost of time and how I paid people to not watch Star Wars and to watch cats instead, because that's actually like a really good use of your time.